Hello, my name is Pat Cooper, and I own part of Pine Lake Parts in Plainwell, Michigan. You can reach me at 269-347-0014 during our business hours, which you can find at pinelakeparts.com. You can also use the contact link in that site. Today I'm going to bond in a replacement magnet and a Mercury flywheel. I have magnets available for several different Mercury flywheels. If you email me your serial number, I can tell you which one you need. The time it takes to do this is exactly what you see in the video. I do not plan on pausing or splicing. Consider this a live presentation. I'm going to preface this with, I'm not an expert on bonding magnets. At this point, I've bonded quite a few and sold a few hundred replacements without any complaints. What I'm showing you is from my experience with military paint processes where adhesion is critical and it's tested. First thing I'm going to do is prep the flywheel and magnet. Notice I'm wearing latex gloves so that I don't get oils and that kind of thing on the surface as I'm cleaning the flywheel and magnet. If you saw my hands, you'd know it's not because I'm worried about getting grease under my nails. The reason is to keep those oils away. The flywheel is from a Mercury 35 horsepower. Flywheel sells for around $275. I sell the magnets for $75 each. So here's a lineup of what is needed. Replacement magnet, two-part epoxy. I'm using the BRP OMC glue. I got their instructions here, which I'll do a close-up of so you can read those as well. I've got a hammer, some scissors, a clamp, 80 grit sandpaper, a piece of cardboard to mix my epoxy on, alcohol, isopropyl type, not Bell's beer type, and I think that is it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I missed paper towels in that list. I'm going to take a clean shop towel, get some alcohol on it, and I'm going to wipe down the area that I need to prep. Reason being is if there's oils or anything like that on there, I want to get that off there. You can see I got some garbage on there. You want to get that off there before you do any sanding or anything so you don't push it down into the surface. You can use any cleaner that will remove oils and dirt and not leave a residue. You can also use several different two-part epoxies. People have told me they've used all kinds. I'm using BRP OMC magnet glue, mainly because I don't sell BRP OMC magnets because I rarely see them fail. So first step, prep the magnet and the flywheel. Take my 80 grit paper. If there's any chunks of the magnet still left in there, magnets are brittle, and you can go in with the hammer that I have here and basically beat on it and break the pieces out that are still stuck in there. And then rough the surface up real good. You can see I did a little beating down in there with a hammer to, I don't know if you can see it or not, but to get chunks of the magnet out of there. Not very good lighting for my video here. So anyway, got the flywheel surface roughed up. I'm going to wipe off the magnet. Now every time you use your paper towel, use a new surface. I'm using the back side where the glue had soaked through to it. You don't want to reuse the same thing because if you did get oils off there, you don't want those oils getting pushed back onto the surface. Now the 80 grit sandpaper, the reason for that, you might think, oh, you want it real smooth. Well, you don't. You actually want to create some crevices in there that the epoxy can grab a hold of. So you want a rougher surface than what you might think. Don't get a lot of rough surface on the magnet. Did get on the flywheel itself with the steel. All right. Now I'm going to go to another fresh spot on my paper towel here and do a final clean on these. Oops, I did something wrong there. You don't want to wipe back and forth like this because again, you can spread oils on there. So, another clean section, more alcohol, and just wipe across it in one direction. Same thing on the flywheel. Got lots of garbage off there. All right. Next, so I've sanded the flywheel, sanded the magnet, so both surfaces are free of old adhesive, magnet pieces or other contaminants. I do one more alcohol wipe on both, which I just did, and now we need to figure out the magnet polarity. So if you look at the magnets, usually you can tell what the top side was. It's painted, and bottom side is raw. So if you go to nest that in the magnet straight on, try and put it in there, it won't go in. If you're backwards, it'll nest right in there. So you want, basically it's repelling. Now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna check its fit. Kind of hard to see there, but I've got a real nice tight fit, no gaps, which is what you want. And it's time to mix my epoxy. So I got a clean piece of cardboard. You fold the two halves of this type of epoxy over, push it away from the end, work a little bit, take my scissors, cut the end off. One of these packets will do about 2 magnets. All right, I'm gonna squeeze that out on my piece of cardboard. This gets the right mix of the two epoxy materials. And it's good to have the gloves here at this point anyway. Otherwise I'd have it all over my hands. And comes with this handy little popsicle stick. I like to fold it over several times, make sure it's good and thoroughly mixed. And now I'm going to wipe it on the surface of my flywheel. Usually you can see a witness where the magnet used to be. You might end up sanding that witness away, but I can still see mine. And wipe some of the excess away here. And I'm going to get the surface thoroughly covered. Don't know in my poor lighting how well that shows up. And now I'm going to set the magnet in place. It was flush to the top of the flywheel, so that's where I'm going to put this one. Right there. I'm checking it. It's not rocking on me or tipping or anything like that. And its fit. It's a nice tight fit there. Again, apologize for my lighting. Looking for my marks to make sure I am centered where it used to be centered. Good to take a tape measure, or BRP talks about using bolts for spacing to make sure that you are in the right location for that magnet. Wiping away any excess there. And now I'm going to clamp it. You want a clamp that's not going to put a ton of pressure on there, because magnets are brittle, like I said. I put a little tape on this to give it a protective surface. And now I'm going to let it cure basically for a full day. That's per the instructions that are called out on the sheet here. So I can set that aside. You can pause the video if you want, but here are the instructions for the BRP glue. Take this off here. Basically goes through all the different things that I just talked about. Has pictures, gives you the narrative. That way squeezing the glue out's better than what I did, squeezing with my fingers. And you can also freeze frame on this. If you have any questions, there's our phone number and our website. Sorry it's dirty, messy back here in the shop. But that's it. I'll let it cure overnight, and then it is ready to install. So any questions, give me a call or stop by our website, pinelakeparts.com, or 269-347-0014, and ask for Pat. Thank you.